Hello everybody, Mr. the Vestman here, bringing you Dungeon Defenders, yeah! So, quick little notes here. We're going to try to hammer this out as quick as we can. First level, Dungeon Defenders, 1200 Microsoft points, Xbox Live Arcade, comes out this coming Wednesday, and it's a very fun game. It's Tower Defense RPG, but don't let the Tower Defense fool you. This is more RPG than Tower Defense. Tower Defense is the gameplay here, but there are so many RPG elements. So, if you're... how do I explain this? Basically, this guide is going to be a general strategies guide. Okay, there's so many variables in this game. There are so many variables that it's impossible for me to make one video that says, this is how you should do this. This is the best way to do it. That's not possible with this game. So, for each level, we're going to be doing general strategies, tips, tricks, whatever, for that level. Obviously, I'm a very high level. The guides are all going to be done on medium difficulty, and they're going to be under the assumption you're playing with 2 players, because, except for the first level, I'm assuming most people are going to do solo. That's why I did it solo. I assume 2 players because sometimes it's hard to have 4, but usually you can always round up at least 1 person, and he'll play with you. So the first level, there's going to be 4 main areas of defending. You're going to want to block off each staircase. Now, in the beginning, I suggest each person who plays this game either tries the apprentice first or the squire first. And the reason I say this is because the apprentice and the squire are self-sufficient. They have blockades and they have offensive towers. The monk and the huntress, although very great characters, in the beginning, they don't, well, at all, they do not have any blockades. So that is makes it very difficult to solo with them. So if you're going to play through the game solo, use the apprentice or the squire. I would suggest the apprentice just because he has much more powerful towers in the long run. But if you want that level of comfortableness with the squire, because he will have more health, more defense, yada yada yada, then you play as the squire. But I do not suggest playing through the game for your first time solo as a monk or a huntress. If you're going to play in a group, then by all means have a monk or a huntress. And in fact, if you're going to play through the game 2-player, or you're at least going to have one buddy who's always consistently going to be there, then I suggest doing apprentice squire or apprentice monk, because those are very potent combinations. But anyways, we're on wave 3 now, and you can see there's still only 2 real choke point areas. You'll constantly see me going to the left bumper for the map, and the map is very crucial in this game because the map will show you where every enemy is at every single moment in time. You're going to want to watch that like a hawk. There will literally be times you see me walking around with that thing open almost the entire match. I do apologize. It does make for poor viewing, but it's incredibly useful. Other tips. When you bring up the map, you will see that there are zones. It will appear in red, and the little red aura zone dictates where enemies will come out of. And nearby that, there will be a list. I'm kind of hoping I pull up the menu, or the wave thing here. The map. God. And anyways, those lists will tell you what enemies are going to come out of what zones at what time. Now here on wave 4, this is where you will be introduced to a new enemy. Obviously they're all going to be new. So you start out with goblins. I should explain. You start with goblins. They're bread and butter units. They're fairly weak. You should have no problems mopping them up. Even as a level 1, you should have no problems taking care of them. Then on wave 2, I believe, you're introduced to the archer. Pretty well the same as the goblin, except for he shoots arrows. And then eventually, yeah, on wave 4, you can see you have to block off the upper pathway, because on wave 4 the large guys come. I don't know their name. I believe they're ogres. No, I believe they're orcs. I think they're called orcs. They will be harder for you as a solo player, especially in the early levels. However, if you just block off appropriately. So what you're going to want to do is put walls up there. If you're playing as the apprentice or the squire, make sure you put barricades up there. Basically, make sure you have the same layout on the top floor as you do on that bottom floor staircase. So you can see I have one barricade and one fireball turret. Now, if you're playing through this game in the very beginning, you won't have fireball turrets yet, or at least not likely. So you can use the magic missile. The magic missile will do just fine. The only difference is you're going to want to build a couple of them as opposed to just one. I'm going to say probably 2 per barricade if you can afford it. The other thing to note on this level is really just use up your DUs. Your DUs are on the right side, and that represents how many towers you can build. We'll get into more of that in later missions. But that is the first level, and it shouldn't be too difficult. The other thing I do want to point out is if you fail, do not be discouraged, because when you fail at this game, you still keep all of your experience points, you keep all the items you received for that level. So if you fail on this mission, don't be like, WTF, this game is BS. Just do it again, do it again. I can't stress enough that there are heavy RPG elements here. So anyone who's played an RPG, like Warcraft or not Bioshock, Mass Effect, anything like that, it pays off to grind experience. And you're gonna want to do that, and it'll pay dividends in the end. So now that the level's over, you can look at your overview. There's 6 different tabs you can look at, but I'm going to talk about the overview right now. And this is just your general statistics for the level. So you can see we have time, waves in combat, enemies spawned, how many kills you got with your hero, your defenses, your deaths, treasure chest, team score, mana, and your loot. So the treasure chests are what you see around the map. You should be picking those up. They spawn between each wave during the build phase. You should always pick those up. You'll get mana from them, and occasionally you'll get loot. Your team score is just how you did on the level. The team scores, I mean, it's pretty obvious. It's for leaderboards only. It doesn't really represent a whole lot otherwise. The mana is money. So mana is how much, the towers cost. Towers cost 40 mana, 80 mana. Mana is the little crystals you find on the map. And they come in different sizes. They start at blue, which is 1, all the way up to the gold ones, which I believe are 1,000. But anyways, that's it for this level. I will talk about the awards next time. And if you want more detailed information or something specific, feel free to check out our guide at xblafans.com. I will link you down below, where there is going to be tons of written information where you might be able to find that one thing you're looking for. Anyways, that's it for now. We will see everyone next time. I'm Mr. the Vest Man, and I'm out.